Herkese merhaba ve videoya hoş geldiniz. Hello everyone and welcome to the video. With playoffs for Valorant Challengers EMEA fastly approaching, I wanted to kick off a new series where I take a look at my pick for some of the most exciting games that you can find in Tier 2 every single week. For the first week, we're going to be looking at a game from Challengers Turkey, a region which has been notoriously good for providing top talent within EMEA, and with a population of 85 million, a shared language, there is a really high potential for creating a lot of super teams. Two of the strongest rosters in the region so far is S2G and Parla Supermassive. For this video, I enlisted the help of Vladkor, the current analyst for Fire Flux, one of the top teams in the league and among the favourites for Ascension, to share his thoughts. Vlad, thank you for joining me on the video. From your experience so far this split, how would you compare Turkey to other regions in Challengers EMEA?
EMEA, I guess Turkey is one of the best ones, maybe the best one compared to the Polaris state right now. I would probably say that Apex is so strong, and we like one of the top teams in Turkey can be like have a very bad times in the officials in the next Ascension tournament playing versus Apex. I guess we have just more like team play, like because like we have like more structured teams than the Polaris region, because the Polaris region still have like some type of mixed teams. Pain League actually very good because the UCAM roster they was very insane the last split. So yeah, and a lot of the people from the franchising, I have talks with the franchise coaches a lot of times, and all of them saying that they think that one of the teams from Turkey gonna win the Ascension. So I guess I'm just sharing the normal opinion about this topic.
Is there anyone that's surprised you the most so far this split, whether it be a team or a player that you've seen in the region?
In the Turkey region, yeah, I guess the Galacticos surprised me like last week, if I'm not mistaken, playing with S2G roster. It was quite impressive that they managed to win this game. Nobody expected them to win. Especially, like, I'm so glad that the Destructive played very good, and like that's our former player. So yeah, I guess Hakan is insane.
There's no clear favourite this split in Turkey in terms of who should be coming out of the regular season as favourites. Does this meet your expectations coming in, or were you surprised to see so many teams have competitive rosters?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised. I'm surprised to have like a lot of the good teams right now in the region compared to the first split, but I understand the reasons, because we don't have a point system, so basically the first split was for nothing. We just have like second split with the first team who is gonna win the tournament, then he have a like promotion to the Ascension tournament. So basically like first split, some of the organization was just not investing that much, or like some rosters was not caring about it, maybe not leaking some strats, whatever. Like, so yeah, I guess there is a couple of reasons why the second split is much more competitive right now compared to the first one. Like, you can just look at the VALORANT page right now and just see like there is a 4 team basically sharing the same state of the situation, with like 4-1 score, like 3-1 score, because like some teams still played like less matches, whatever.
Now heading into my challenger's choice for this week, S2G versus Parla Supermassive. This game is a repeat of the Split 1 finals where S2G ran away as dominant 3-0 victors, despite the fact that they had previously lost to Supermassive 2-0 in the regular season. Both teams have lost one match so far, with S2G's defeat coming in their most recent match against Galacticos, whereas Supermassive are on a different trajectory, having won 3 games in a row since their loss against Fire Flux, taking a big win most recently against fellow playoff pursuant Digital Athletics. The first of these two rosters that we're going to take a look at is S2G. They are made up of Pora, Riazi, Rians, Russ, and Lurzi. One of the names that will instantly stand out to long-time followers of Valorant's esports scene is Pora. He was part of the Team Heretics roster that won EMEA's maiden First Strike tournament, the first international event of its kind. He had a quiet 2022 after playing in 2 of the 3 Masters events a year prior for Heretics again and Supermassive Blaze, but he was knocked out by Ascend in both tournaments as they were crowned the first Valorant Champions Tour winners at the end of the same calendar year. This is somewhat a grudge match for himself and Russ against their former employers. Furthermore, Izzy has remained there ever since and will be looking to one-up his ex-teammates for the second time in the regular season. Rian's played on the same Surreal Esports roster as Alphayer and some other big Turkish names that made 3rd place in the VCT 2022 EMEA promotion tournament similar to Ascension. They lost to Aslan's Big, their original 5th man who is currently on an indefinite break requiring surgery, with this change enacted on the roster since late March and Lurzi standing in for him. Riazi is another prospect who had a decent spell on Regnum Caria the previous year. S2G currently sit 3rd place in the division, having played one less game than the 2 teams above them. And for Supermassive's roster, we have CyderX, Sturban, Elite, Burzy, and Izzy. The aforementioned Izzy is the point of continuity which this team has been formed around, being a part of the active roster since May 2021. The addition of CyderX was a welcome one, being returned to the team after having some stints on BBL and Regnum Carrier. With these 2 players signed, it helped to establish a core to bring in some youthful firepower in the form of Burzy and Elite. Both players are only 18 years of age and most notable for their time on Peshay Esports last year, where they pushed into the semi-finals of the regional league as it was at the time. They ultimately lost out to Sturban's original Fire Flux side. He is both the final man on the roster and the oldest player on the team, bringing a lot of quality to the flex role and a deep agent pool, having played 5 different selections in their matches across the last 30 days. Supermassive are first in the league as it stands, ahead of Fire Flux on Round Delta, a team which they've been unable to beat since the finals of Open Fire All-Stars last November, playing them 3 times since then. My highlighted matchup will of course be Izzy versus Pora, 2 old teammates who play very different roles but could be instrumental to their team's success. Pora has been around the block many times and his calling will be pivotal to how S2G approach the biggest game of their domestic season so far, also taking up the task of Sentinel, a role which he has exclusively played, having Cypher as a hallmark of his trade. Izzy's been having a great split so far, with one of the highest ratings of all players in the league at a 1.14 as of the Spike GG. He's been putting in consistent performances on the duelist, netting himself an average combat score of 261 in the last 2 months on Raze, which is likely to appear when we get onto the vetoes. If Pora is able to control Izzy's influence on the game, then this will most likely set them off for success. This old rivalry and clash of heads is definitely one to look out for. I also asked Vlad who we should be keeping our eyes on coming into this game. There is an interesting 3-way storyline building between these teams and Fire Flux, who currently sit in the playoff spots with them. Fire Flux massively underperformed in playoffs of Split 1 after going 8-1 in the regular season. This gave them a bye into the semi-finals, which was played out in a best of 5 against S2G, who had come off a win against Istanbul Wildcats 1 day prior. With Fire Flux placing 3rd, 4th after this defeat, it would have severely damaged their chances of claiming the Ascension spot. However, with no confirmation of a circuit point system implemented in Turkey, the idea being scrapped in favour of the Split 2 runner-up, taking play-ins and the winner getting the spot outright. The team then remodeled drastically between splits after merging rosters with Parla in an unprecedented move which shook the Turkish scene. Parla came into challenges with high expectations after making the finals of the VCT off-season event G-Loot Clash and pushing the newly formed Nari roster to a 5th map in the grand finals of that event. Regardless of these roster changes, S2G came back to bite them again last month, winning 2-1 in a reverse sweep result. Speaking to Vladkor, I found out how this move came around. Could you just talk me through what that process was like as someone on the coaching staff, how you first came to know that this change was going to come through, and what it's been like working with those players?
I don't know about like whole thing of merging process, but I'm sure that it's started happening 1 or 2 weeks. Like it was like late March, if I'm not mistaken. I mean like middle of the March, whatever. And then we just started discussing the best players from our roster, best players from the Parla roster, basically, and just decided to have this one. Like basically, there was not like we want to cut this player and like whatever we're playing with these ones. We just was trying to choose from the 10 players and like choose the best option for us. And we still have a Sasuke as a 6th player in our roster, and we used to have basically like Raxic as a 7th player for us, but he just got a deal with Digital Athletics. So like we basically let the rest of the players from Parla roster, we just let them to go to the Digital Athletics, and even our old players, for example, Vereless and Destructive, they're not teamless. Destructive, as I said, already won versus S2G because he got acquired by Galacticos, and Vereless came back to the Regnum where he was playing before the Fire Flux first split.
Unfortunately, both of these teams met a similar fate, securing top 2 in the regular season and falling short instantaneously in the knockout stages. Going on to the map vetoes between these teams, they've played on 4 different maps across their 2 previous series, with the consistent factor being Fracture. Icebox has now left the competitive rotation, and this is the first match week for it to take effect in Turkey. This change in the pool could have a big effect on how the expected outcome of the game pans out. Bind is a map which both teams previously floated in the old rotation, as well as Haven, so there's a high chance which we can see it played. It was a stronghold for Papara Supermassive in previous matches. S2G are currently undefeated on both Ascent and Fracture this split, having played them once each. With Fracture being that consistent pick between the two teams, there's a high likelihood that it would end up appearing. Haven and Icebox are joint as their most played map with a 27% play rate across all matches for this existing core, with an 80% win rate on both. These are the two top map selections for S2G this split, with 7 appearances combined out of the 10 that they've played. One of the main differences in the veto from the first series that these teams played in the opening week of Split 1 and the grand finals of it was S2G's decision to ban Pearl after losing it the first time around. I expect this to stay the same.
I'm pretty sure that Supermassive had very good Ascent and Heaven. I'm not sure that they're gonna play Heaven in this best of 3 because usually Heaven is this map who you don't like to pick and don't like to ban because it's just 50-50 usually. There is no team who have the best map in their map pool is Heaven, and then there is no team who have the worst map in their map pool is Heaven. So basically you don't want to pick it because you probably have a map which is much better, and you don't want to ban it because you probably have other insta ban. Since the icebox got deleted and we have a bind now, maybe we can see the bind from Supermassive. I'm pretty sure that they used to play, they used to play bind in the first split when it came out. So yeah, maybe they're gonna show it today again. The things about maps is usually just all Turkish teams for some reason love to play Heaven and icebox. Basically, icebox got deleted, so there will be more new maps in the map pool, I guess, because usually it was always Heaven, icebox, and some type of the other map.
My final question, of course, then will be what your predictions are going into this game, who exactly you think it is going to win. I know you already spoke about it a little bit and how you feel that S2G losing this game would probably be more beneficial to you on Fire Flux anyway, but if you can maybe give some reasoning as to why you think that is, it'd be great.
Yeah, so about this match, as I said before, S2G lost to the Galacticos last week, and it was not a quite good performance as I expected from S2J, especially on the Icebox. Thank God Icebox got deleted, and maybe S2J can just think about it whatever, we don't care about the Galacticos match anymore since there was Icebox and we know not gonna have it in the next map pool, so whatever. I'm pretty sure that S2J able to win Supermassive on Ascent, and as I said about maybe they will be decided Heaven, and it's 50-50. If Papa are gonna bring the bind, I'm pretty sure that they are the players who are playing in this roster right now in the Supermassive, they used to play bind very well, all of them. So I'm not sure about the S2G toes. And as I said before, yes, I'm hoping that S2G gonna lose this match because it's gonna have more benefits for us in the future. So I just going to do Papaya Supermassive in this case. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Vlad, especially for joining me on the video. Were there any shoutouts to people in not just Fire Flux, but the rest of the Turkish scene that you want to give?
In the Turkish scene, I guess, actually, there is one player who just got, I don't know, he got dropped for a reason because, as I said, we had better options at that point, Verles, but he deserved to play in the Tier 2 league. He deserved to play in the Turkish league, 100%. And he was insane in the first split with us. He was insane, and I can't understand why he's not in the Tier 2 right now, why he's playing in Regnum, because he 100% deserves to be in the some of these teams right now, especially if there will be I'm pretty sure that there is no roster lock still, so guys from the who is not in the playoffs right now and don't have a chance to playoffs, maybe Wireless. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wireless 100%. This guy deserves more.
That brings us to the end of my first episode for Challenger's Choice EMEA. Let me know in the comments section which team it is exactly you're going to be backing to take the result in this instance, and also give me some of your thoughts on the format. This one's been a little more rushed than I would have liked, so I didn't get to flesh out as many points as I was potentially hoping to. Also, if you have any suggestions for future matches that I should be covering, make sure to add that to the comment, or follow me on Twitter at HazzaJC_, where I am most active. With that being said, much love. Thank you to everyone for the support, and I'll see you all next time.